Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a really neat impressions review of a knife that I've gotten in that at first I wasn't super excited when I first opened it, but since then I've done some things to it, just some basic maintenance, and I'm starting to love this knife a lot. This is the Tuyaknives Hive version 3, and I believe there's version 2 and version 1 obviously. They're all a little different, but this is the version 3, and the guy who does the design on this is the same guy who does Bade Modern Designs. He did the Stunner. He had a website called Bade Modern Designs. It was called Stunner. I don't know if you can see that. I actually have a Stunner that that he did on that one. I love that knife. Can't get those anymore, but man, the action on that knife was just phenomenal. So it's carbon fiber on one side. And I don't know if you can see that carbon fiber, nice reflective carbon fiber. It looks like it's like a twill pattern, so really nice. No hardware. It's kind of flat on this side over here. It is a flipper. If you go on the other side, you see the two screws, well, three screws. One for the deep carry clip, but that's screwed in on reverse inside. It doesn't have any structural part. And then there's one big screw right here that goes from side to side with this back spacer. And there's a little place for probably your lanyard if you want to loop that through. And then there's a pivot. And these are all T8s for all the different pivots, including the over travel stop or the steel insert, whatever. Usually they're one and the same, right? It is M390. I don't know if you can see that on the, oh, yeah, it's upside down. You see that on the, let's get that right angle, M390 on the flipper part, very small. Not a whole lot of billboarding on this knife. I like that a lot. This knife is a little dirty because I use these knives, and that, as if you guys know my reviews, every knife I have, I use, I carry. I don't have Safe Queens except for my dad's, bought before World War II, almost a 100-year-old knife. That's about it. All my other knives are users. I don't like to have a knife in my collection if it's not something I'm going to use and carry. So that being said, this knife was a lot of fun. When I first got it, the detent was super strong, super strong. Did not care for that. It is a frame lock, and this is a titanium on this side. I believe it's PVD coated. It could be just what do you call it? Black stone washed or something like that. It looks like it's PVD coated now that I look at it. But this does have a steel insert over travel stop that we talked about. Titanium deep milled carry clip. This is titanium over here. But this detent was so strong. When you flipped it open, it was really hard to flip. So if you like super strong detents, you'd probably have loved it. But I mean, I felt like it was a little too much. And I noticed a lot of people talk about how strong the detent was, and I didn't see a whole lot of reviews, and this knife is very active in the community, and so I was a little bummed about that. And what I really like too is this is a hollow grind, beautiful hollow grind. I don't know if you can see that hollow grind. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Get the right angle on the lights there. You can just see the angle on there. Let's see if we can get up here. See, can we focus in where we can see the angle? Let's see if we can do this on this side maybe. Can you guys see that? Yeah. So you can see it coming out very thin on the edge. Really nice, beautiful sharp edge here. I love the hexagonal shapes on here. That's on the pivot, the captive pivot here, and dimpling, if you will, with hexagons all over on the carbon fiber side and the titanium side. Almost looks a little bit like the Damn Designs. You know, their knives, the Damn Design knives, pivot collar, similar to that, but I don't think it is that, because it's different. But I did notice that. Well, so the detent was super strong, and if you were to do that, it wouldn't move, and you could flick it as hard as you could, and it wouldn't go down. You literally just, the only option was to push it down, and you could feel it resisting as it was pushing down. So I didn't care for that. I am not a fan of super strong detents. I don't mind a little strong detent. I guess I can get used to it as long as it breaks in. But I prefer a nice action on here, and so most of the time I will tune my detent. I have another video of this. It's the second video on this knife. The one before, I had the unboxing, and then I did a tuning of the detent. Now I will tell you, this lock bar and insert and the steel, the over travel stop here was so tight in there. It took a lot of work to get it out, but I have some hints and some ways you can get that out if you're willing to try that. And then I did adjust this a little bit, not a whole lot, but just enough to give it, I think, a more reasonable detent that allowed it where if you disengage the frame lock, you actually have the knife drop and you're not hurting your fingers. You're trying to do that. And then as it comes down, you know, it's not like guillotine, but it can definitely come down with a shake, which to me, I think is reasonable, right? And because it's a hollow grind, by the way, this is one of the things that I thought it could do. Because it's hollow grind, I figured I could probably get my finger in here and do a reverse flick, which I can. So you just got to make sure you get the meat of your finger in here, in the center, and let me try and do it. Demonstration. It looks a little rough, but that's how it works. It's really nice. And you can do it reverse over here as well. You just have to make sure you get underneath and get under there. Works really nicely. I like that. Gives me multiple deployments. I always like knives with multiple deployments, so now I have that. I still love that hollow grind. When you see just a right angle, you really appreciate it. It's a beautiful slicer. Now, it did come in with a little scratch. Of course, I use my knife, so I'm not too worried about it, but it was kind of a bummer. I would prefer to have me be the guy who did the first scratch on there because I used it, not because it came in, missed out on QC or quality control. But that's all right. I'm all right with that. Let's see here. Can we see that? Nope, there was nothing on there. I thought there was somewhere where it had also the numbers on here. No. Okay. I'm thinking of something else. Anyways, so this is the knife. I've enjoyed it. I've done a lot of shorts on this. I'm really liking it a whole lot more. One thing I did notice, the profile. It's got a beautiful profile, and it's probably reminiscent of other knives. I did notice that this profile seems similar to a few other high-end knives that I really like, but it's very different. I don't think I've seen anything like this from them. And, you know, this is made in China, so it's not, you know, it's not like one of these handmade, custom-made or anything like that. So, but still beautiful and very functional. Dead center. I didn't have any issue with that. I did put skiff cage ceramic washers in there. That also helped with the action, made it very smooth, any grittiness. I cleaned it out on the inside. Had a little bit of dirt when I first got it, so probably one of those knives because of the carbon fiber and the dust from that, and then with the titanium, I'm sure all that getting together probably didn't help to get it to you know, be perfectly clean on the inside. Once those were addressed, it really has become a fantastic knife. And you know, I'm not big on just it only being a flipper, but I gotta tell you, this flipper is very satisfying. It really is. It's a wonderful push button, and with the jimping up here, it's a very satisfying light switch too. And it does have a little cutout away here, so when you come down, you get a little extra action to go free and down, and give it a little extra leverage to get that blade really deployed nice and strongly and very engaged, ready to go. And I tell you, when I grip on this with a nice solid grip, there's no really hot spot for me. This clip does have a little point, but that doesn't dig into me at all. And it's not necessarily super chamfered, but man, that ramp and how it goes over, that goes in and out of your pocket just really wonderfully. And there's just, it's got enough tension to hold it, but not so much that's going to rip your jeans up. And this right here has been chamfered. This is not sharp at all. A lot of times when you see these little kind of cut out here on the frame lock, this tends to be super sharp, and it always tends to be something that rips up jeans. Not at all. So I've really enjoyed that. And the other thing, you can sort of choke up. It's got jimping on top. You can do that. I'm not sure if I'd recommend that. It's a kind of I guess if you're doing a real precision cut and you're really controlling it, maybe. But I mean, I don't know. I get a really good grip here, and I don't have to worry about it. I'm clearing everything when I'm cutting here. You know, it's a good knife for that purpose. So I like that. A lot of fun knife. It's a lot of fun to use and enjoy this knife. I'm speaking like Barney Rubble from Fred Flintstone or something. Sorry about that. Anyways, so great knife. Let's get into the details of this knife. All right, so we'll go ahead and get a little measurement so we can see what the titanium and the carbon fiber is like. And by the way, just real quick, if you look at the titanium in there, I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if we can get the good angle and light in there. It has a lot of cutout on the titanium bar on this side, on the scale on that side. So that's been light, very much lighter. This is carbon fiber, so that also helps with the weight as well. So let's go ahead and see what we got. 3.78 ounces. So 3.78 ounces is what we have on this. So let's get a measurement for the knife and see how that goes with the ratios, right? So overall, the knife is going to be right at, I would say, maybe 8 1/16 of an inch, or maybe 8 1/4. We could probably, yeah, it's just shy of 8 1/4. You know, when I'm looking at from my angle, it's about 8 1/4 total length. The blade itself, from the very tip of the hilt the handle to the tip of the blade, we're looking at 3¼ inches. The cutting edge, we're looking at probably almost 3½ inches. It's going to probably be 3 3/7 inches, right? And if you want to talk about like the extreme, where if you're in a state where you got to watch your knife laws and stuff like that, I mean, somebody could easily probably say it's 3½ inches. If that, if it's definitely over 3 inches for sure. So that might not meet your carry requirements. So just keep that in mind in your state and your city. Oh, I also like to see for where your hand is from here to the end. So that's 4 inches all the way, right? And with that kind of grip that you have here, it's always like I have a medium to medium large hand. So they're large and widthwise, they're medium and lengthwise. And so the fact that I can grip all the way up here and still have all this room, I think large to extra large hands easily could carry this knife, and it would be very comfortable in your hand. So there's that. That's nice. Let's look at the blade stock thickness. It is a hollow grind, so we're just going to look at the very top here. And let's see what we have here. We have 0.165, so 0.147. So we're looking at 147 hundredth of an inch, or hundredths of an inch. So that's 147 hundredths of an inch, which means that we are between right in that middle of 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. So it's a pretty thick blade stock for how light the knife is. At the top, it does go down to a super, super thin edge here at the end. And I'll tell you, with the M390 on the leather strap, that just sharpens up really, really nice. Now, that's a low angle on the blade, but because of this hollow grind, it works. And it keeps a really nice, edgy, sharp edge on there. You don't have to go with a real high 15 degree. I'm suspecting that's probably like around 25, maybe even a little more, but at least 25 degrees on that on the edge. If you can see that, let's see. Can we get a little close? So the edge is not. It's not a long. Excuse me. It's not a long edge at all. I don't know if I can get that. It's a very short edge. So I think it's about 25 degrees. I haven't resharpened this. I've not had to, and leather stropping has been working just fine. Man, I tell you what, it's just a lot of fun to flip. It's got a nice sound to it. Let me see if you can hear this. Let's see, I really like that sound. It's really satisfying. And at times I get like a high, like a ching almost. I've never had a Herman. I've never had a Koenig. I've never had any of those fancy knives. I've got a little dirt on there. Never had, but I hear that they have some wonderful singing on their knives. And to me, sometimes I get that, and I appreciate it. I like it when it has a unique resonance in it. It just makes it sound just kind of nice. And this definitely has that. Again, the last few knives I've had, it seems like, man, I got to watch myself from wanting to carry it all the time. And this is another one of those knives that I just want to carry all the time. Just a lot of fun. Just great knife. I love the look and the feel and the shape and the handling. Just really, really a lot of fun to carry. Just a really good hand working knife. Like anybody else, 99% of my stuff is I cut open letters and boxes. Maybe, plastic wrap on cases of water. Maybe the plastic rings that go around sodas, because I want to protect the animals in the ocean and birds in the landfill and all that good stuff. And I don't know what else I cut. Maybe strings here and there, other small things like that. Christmas boxes, that was a big deal this year. Didn't have it for Christmas, so this was not a Christmas knife cutting. This wasn't a knife for cutting Christmas presents, but this would have been great. I really do like this knife. Definitely one in my collection that I think I'm definitely going to be keeping, because I like to use this a lot. Really fun knife. Yeah, definitely a good knife. So I like this one. Highly recommend it. There's just so many benefits about this knife that I don't know. I can go on. The ergonomics is great. It's chamfered on the side. It's very comfortable. The titanium on one side with the frame lock gives it solid lock. The carbon fiber is strong, beautiful, nice, reflective. Just a hint of touch. It's not over the top. And the hardware and the accents just are very subtle. The deep milled carry titanium pocket clip really is nice. The titanium backspacer, M390 blade steel, the hollow grind, the flipper. And once I tuned the detent and the action, put the skiff washers in there, this became just a beautiful, beautiful knife. And I will tell you that had I not done that, I don't think I would have kept this knife. So if you are someone who's comfortable changing out maybe your washers, maybe you're comfortable tuning the detent, check out my other video that I posted on this and see if you want to go through that. But this made this a fantastic knife. Just really a fun, awesome knife. I like this a lot. I think they're still available, and I'm sure there'll be probably a version 4 at some point, because this is the version 3. There was a version 2, and I think the version 2 had a Tonto blade. But if the Hive is going to keep having that hollow grind, I definitely probably will look at the version 4 when it comes out. But man, this was a great knife. It is a great knife. I'm enjoying it a lot. So if you get a chance to get it, get it. If the aesthetic is pleasing to you and the size is something that you're comfortable with, let's go ahead and take a quick look. If you wanted to, I don't know if we did a close-up of the blade. You can kind of see the hollow. Let me see if I can get a nice light angle on that thing. I tell you, when the light is just right, you can really see the hollow grind. It just stands out. So, and here is the titanium backside, not the show side, right? With the screws. Just really 2 screws holding it in place. This is screws, just, you can, I don't know if you can see that, but that screw is right there. It's not in the back spacer at all. There's a couple of pins in the back spacer that allow it not to move around, obviously, right? They're pinned in, but 1 screw holding it together. And it's a pretty robust screw, so it's a nice solid screw. But yeah, and just beautiful. I don't know if you can see the carbon fiber. This looks really nice in the sun. Haven't had a lot of sun this winter. It seems like every time I go out, it comes out and then it goes away. So I guess I'll be enjoying the carbon fiber reflections when spring comes along at some point. But still very nice. Really, really like it. The weight, everything about this knife is just really, really, really wonderful. And I really enjoy the fact that I can, you know, reverse flick it like that. That's always a lot of fun. So anyways, that is the Tuyaknives Hive version 3. And really, really enjoy this knife. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. If there's anything you'd like me to cover, to look at, to do while I do some of these reviews, I would love to hear from you and learn what other things you would like to see, because I want to improve these reviews and these unboxings and these impressions that I do. I'm new to this, but man, I enjoy knives. I enjoy everything about knives, so I'm willing to learn and make this stuff better as I learn more and more. Also, if there's you know, if you're just curious about some things, I'd love to be able to answer your questions if I can about this knife and about any other knife. So let me know. If you like this content, you know, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button and maybe continue following me, and then also maybe hitting the like button for this video. That would really be very much appreciated. And also, maybe if you like this types of videos that I put together, you find them interesting, entertaining, or just fun to watch, maybe hit the notification button as well. And then also, I have an Instagram account if you want to follow me over there. It's called robs_nerdy_knives, same as my channel here, but it's robs_nerdy_knives on Instagram. Feel free to follow me over there. Thanks so much for watching today. Y'all have a great day and a great week. Bye.